Today I'm going to show you how to roughly install the AutoTorque Evo 10 AYC relocation kit. I'm going to talk you through the components and then roughly how to install it. First of all, you've got the lower mounting bracket, the upper mounting bracket, 3 AYC pipes, 4 mounting brackets, 2 types of hydraulic hose fitting, 2 self-tapping screws, 8 nylon nuts, 4 M8 flange nuts, some more M8 bolts with some M8 washers, a load more M8 washers, some spacers to space the plates up off the floor, and then the bolts to hold the plate to the floor, and then 1 M6 nut. To start with, you'll need to mount the AYC pump to this bracket. It's self-explanatory, it can only go on one way. Once you've mounted your pump to this, you then use the 4 mounts to mount it to the other plate. Okay, I've loosely constructed it to show you roughly what needs to be done. Once the AYC pump's on and this 90 degrees towards you, then you see that there's one offset hole. This needs to be at the same side as this bracket towards the back corner. Use the 8 nylon nuts to mount it to the bracket and 8 bigger washers. Next in the kit is the spacers. You'll need these to mount it to the boot floor. You'll notice that one is slightly shorter than the other. This is because the boot floor is not totally flat, and you'll need that on this back corner, one which is offset. This will mount in the car, so this is the front and this is the back. This is the left hand side of the car and this is the right hand side of the car. The shorter mount will go here at the back, and then the other 3 around like so. To mount it through the boot floor, use the long M8 bolts with the penny washers. Go through the floor, drill the holes in the right place, and then on the bottom use some more of the penny washers and the M8 flange nuts. The 3 smaller M8 bolts and the 3 smaller M8 washers there to mount your AYC pump to the L-shaped brackets. Okay, that's the simple stuff done. Next to the hydraulic pipe work. You'll see that you've got 3 pipes in total. 2 of the pipes are identical to each other, one of them is slightly different. The slightly different one has got a straight fitting on one end and a 90 degree bend on the other. That is for your front differential. The straight fitting should go straight on to the metal pipe above the rear diff. You'll see that there's a metal fitting there and that will screw straight onto that. The other fitting will go to your centre diff fitting on the AYC pump. The other 2 pipes, you'll see they've got 90 degrees on both ends. One end's got 19mm fittings, the other end's got 17mm fittings. The 19mm fittings will go to the rear differential, and the 17mm fittings will go to the AYC pump. The 5 hydraulic fittings. You see that there's 2 types. The smaller type is for the AYC pump for the left hand side and the right hand side. This is what goes into 17mm heads on these pipes. It's very important you get this right because these fittings go very close together, and that's why they've been modified with the 14mm head. The other fittings are very self-explanatory. They do have a different thread, one side to the other, so make sure you get these right. One will go into your AYC pump and then the other 2 will go into your differential. We advise that you fit PTFE or plumber's tape to these fittings on the pump side because it's soft aluminium and you don't want to do them up too tight and damage the thread. It's very important that you get the pipe work right. This is labelled centre. If you look on the AYC pump, you'll see that you have an L, an R and a F for fronts. It's quite self-explanatory, and then if you look at the back of the diff, obviously your left hand fitting is the left hand side and the right hand fitting is the right hand side. You'll also find in the kit 2 of these 10mm hex self-tapping screws. These are so you can move your AYC bottle higher up in the inner wing. We moved it up about 3 or 4 inches in the same area, just using these screws. Lastly, you'll see there's one M6 nut left. This is to hold the carpeted box into the boot. You can use a nylock nut on this if you wish. We prefer to use the flange nut because then you can remove the box without any tools. You can just do it finger tight and it will stay in place. If you want to use a nylock nut, then that is down to you. Fitting the box is quite self-explanatory. This lug here with the hole in it will slide over your original M6 stud, which is in the boot just by the right hand side rear light. This other lug, you'll need to cut a little hole in the carpet just beside where the AYC bottle opening is. You'll find the opening's about here, and the little slot for this will just sit to about an inch away from that towards the front of the car.